but it will mean the closure of more indoor spaces where we know the risk of transmission is higher, especially with Omicron. But let me be clear, these will be targeted and they will be time limited. The immediate goal of these measures will be to blunt the latest wave so we can ease the pressure on our hospitals.
It's like, can we even laugh right now?
No.
Because everybody's literally questioning Doug Ford's leadership.
It's almost comical. Almost.
But like, is he failing the province of Ontario? Is he failing the people of Ontario?
A lot of people feel like he is, and I don't blame them.
Well, let's talk about it. So as many of you know, like clearly we are heading back into, I mean, they want to call it modified stage 2, but it's a lockdown.
It is a lockdown, and it's unfair to people, but it's also unfair to businesses.
So let's dive in and let's identify what exactly is changing beginning Wednesday morning or Wednesday right at midnight, right?
Wednesday at midnight.
So let's talk about it. So gyms are closing.
Yeah.
Indoor dining prohibited. Schools closed.
Events like weddings and funerals, 50% capacity if they're indoor, and then only as many people as you can have safely, socially distanced outdoor.
Right. Private gatherings.
Exactly.
Of 5, maximum capacity of 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And they're recommending 5 fully vaccinated people.
Okay. So, I mean, here we go.
Yeah.
Right?
Their restrictions are tough, and I don't know that they're tougher than we've seen, but I think they're a lot tougher than anybody anticipated us going back to.
And I think the other question that everybody's also asking is, did we even need to be here? Was there a way to prevent this from happening? And let's talk honestly. Yeah.
There was, and there was a much more, even if there wasn't a way for people to keep the case counts down, there was a more responsible way of delivering the news.
Yes.
And of putting the new restrictions, like implementing them.
Chaos. I feel like this government loves chaos and hysteria, because I feel like that's all we keep getting. And like, I'm worried about people's mental health. Like, I feel like that's out to float or sink.
Yeah,
in the deep end. Like, seriously, like,
people were struggling with the restrictions that we already had.
Exactly.
Let alone now putting in new restrictions after years of being in this situation in the first place.
And I feel for parents in particular. I feel for a lot of people. I feel for gym owners especially, because this time of year is actually their most profitable time of the year.
Because everybody's their New Year's resolutions,
exactly.
right, to get back into the gym.
I think about all servers and waiters who, and restaurant owners who now are not able to make any money indoor dining when they have been through the loophole with this.
And small business owners, right? We're talking about retail capacity being cut at 50%. Well, retail capacity for a mom and pop shop is going to be a lot less than retail capacity for somewhere like Costco or Walmart.
Exactly.
And then we're seeing that's a situation where we are seeing like big box stores at an unfair advantage.
It's like, did they not? We all knew this was coming. Like, if you were monitoring the numbers, which we do all the time, we knew that this was coming. We were putting out breaking news about, I remember it was early December, and where the province's science table was estimating that we could see close to 4,000 cases a day.
And it was funny because when that number came out, nobody believed it. Nobody believed we would hit 4,000 cases.
Here we are at 16,000.
18,000. We're hitting like numbers that you couldn't even fathom.
So then
how
does at the end of last week, does this government, this premier come out and say to parents, no, don't worry about it. Your kids are going to be going back to in-person learning, back into the classroom, and then literally a few days later, just rip the rug from under their feet.
And to all the parents, I'm going to tell you that these measures will have an effect on our schools as well. We need to prioritize the continued health and safety of our kids and our school staff. As a result, we'll be delaying the return to in-class learning for the next 2 weeks and continue with virtual learning for the duration of the time away.
And why is it that we're putting parents in this situation in the first place? Because we're coming off of Christmas break, we're coming off of New Year's, and parents are trying to relax, have a good last weekend with their kids, and now on Sunday night you find out there's no childcare available for at least the next 2 weeks. And obviously school is more than childcare, but looking at the perspective from the parents, that's
and I'm not going to say that the decisions are easy. They're obviously, these decisions are hard decisions. I mean, I don't think there are many people who would want to be the leaders of any provinces or countries right now during this period of time, because it is complex and these are crazy decisions. But at the same time, I mean, nobody asked you to go into this job. Right? Like, as a premier, you put yourself out there. You asked to be the leader, so you have to take the responsibility. And my thing is that I look to what other provinces are doing, and we should start listing off what they're doing, because the other provinces, yes, have been doing the same thing, saying that they're going to restrict kids going back into the classroom.
But they got so much more notice.
And that's the thing.
So much more notice. They were finding out on the 29th, on the 30th,
Yeah.
last month.
Yeah.
And that 5-6 days is all the difference.
It
for
makes
when
all
you
the
have a group of children.
100%.
You know, what are you going to, like, who are you asking? Where are you finding places to
How are you going to
these
get time
kids?
off of work if you're not allowed to
Exactly.
work from home?
Or find, you know, a babysitter, or find some kind of arrangement.
Yeah.
How are you doing that overnight, as opposed to having the weekend, having extra time to figure that out?
So now you got students and kids that are stressed, and then you got parents who are stressed. My goodness, living in a house like that,
And it's
with
important.
stressors coming on both ends, you're asking for toxic situations.
And it's important to remember that they're saying the 17th at the earliest is when they're going back, right?
Yes, so yes, that's a great point that you brought up. So right, again, they're saying at least until the 17th. That's, I mean, maybe.
And I want to bring up the fact also that they're saying that we won't hit the peak for another 4 to 6 weeks.
Right, until the end of the month. So then are we really expecting students to go back inside the classroom, or is just really just to make people feel like this is only really temporary?
And I don't think that's fair either. Honestly, I know the government has to give people, I think their idea is to give people something to look forward to. I don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
I think being transparent
And just being
is the
honest.
best thing you can do at this point. It's just, you know, obviously you don't want to come out and say we don't know what we're doing, but you already look like you don't know what you're doing.
I mean, anybody who watches the press conferences, you can look at these, you know, you look at the health minister, Christine Elliott, you look at Doug Ford, you even look at Ontario's top dog. Like, they look like literally like they walked out and said, you know, right before they walked out and said, okay, let's just change the plan here because we're too afraid of what the backlash is
They
going to
look
be.
scared, and they don't look sure in what they're saying either.
So let's talk about what these other provinces are doing. So Quebec, we know they are in a full force lockdown
Yep.
with
Curfew at 10
curfews.
p.m.
But they had initially pushed back school reopenings to January 10th. However, the province announced on Thursday, December 30th, that the school closures would remain until January 17th. So parents got a lot of advance notice. Alberta, another province. You used to work there.
I did.
The winter break for Alberta students is being extended to January 10th. The province announced on December 30th. Let's talk about
In British Columbia.
BC. Yeah, December 29th, Wednesday. That's when they told parents that they're going to be delaying sending kids back into the schoolroom.
Being in Ontario, it's really interesting to me talking about how these places got so much advance notice, because if you look at a map of cases by province, every single one of those provinces has a significantly lower, even if you compare it like, you know, by population, a lot lower case count than we do. Like, you're seeing less than 9,000 active cases in Alberta, and you're seeing over 100,000 active cases in Quebec, over 90,000 active cases today in Ontario. How did you not think that this was going to have to
And
be?
then on top of that, we were just talking about this before we came on camera. We can't even rely on case count numbers in Ontario
because it's not testing everyone.
they told people to self-diagnose themselves. Like, that's crazy. Again, it's no shock we were going to be here. We were talking about Omicron for months now.
And I think it's interesting because we were also talking about, not just us as a team, but people online, how difficult it was in the lead up to them telling people not to get tested, to get a test in the first place.
So another mishandling of the situation. I want to end off on this point because, of course, there's a lot of people affected, and people are probably wondering, well, are the supports coming back? Like, you know, is CERB coming back? Like, what's out there?
Yeah.
So let's kind of get into that because I think that's important for people to know.
So there is the new, the worker lockdown benefit, right?
Right.
But that only provides $300 a week.
And that's from the federal government, we should add. That's
Yes.
not from the provincial government. That's from
That's
the federal
from the federal
government.
people.
So what's available for small businesses in Ontario? Well, they got the Ontario Business Cost Rebate Program. Okay. And what is that? That was announced on December 22nd in a news release. It will allow eligible businesses to receive payments equaling about 50% of property tax and energy costs they incur.
And also, this doesn't open until the middle of this month, and they still haven't released a list on what businesses are eligible, so nobody knows if they'll be able to qualify when it opens.
My goodness. If you are a business owner, if you are somebody impacted, I would definitely suggest heading to the COVID support government website, both federally and provincially, to see if there are any programs that you can tap into, because at this point, we don't know how long we're going to be in this scenario for.
No, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
Right? That's the honest to God truth, is that we don't know. And everybody needs to be as prepared as possible, whether you're a business owner or a parent.
I would love to ask everybody watching right now, I mean, we've given you a lot of information, a lot of context analysis about the situation. We follow this literally almost every single day. How do you guys feel about how Doug Ford's been handling this pandemic? Like, just be honest. Like, are you upset? Do you feel like the communication has been non-existent, has been problematic? What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, what do you think you should do? And I think while we're talking about leadership, of course, we are going to have an election in the next couple of months. Reminder, hello. The other provincial leaders have been saying a lot of things. Andrea Horvath, the leader of the NDP, the official opposition.
And Stephen Del
She's come out swinging, right? Take a listen to this clip.
So we've watched as Doug Ford has made some bad choices and, shockingly, also made some big cuts. His last budget contained big cuts to education at a time when we are now once again shutting down schools.
So no kind words there.
No. And Stephen Del Duca had something to say as well, the leader of the Ontario Liberal Party.
Yeah, take a listen to this.
Doug Ford is making it crystal clear. In this moment, when the people of Ontario need him to step up and provide real leadership, that he is, in fact, the most incompetent premier in Ontario's history, and that has to end.
I think what's going to be interesting is will people remember this when it comes time for the election?
Will this be over by the time it's time for an election?
Even better question. Thanks for all the information, Dev.
Anytime. Hopefully we don't have to do this again this time next year.
Hey BG Squad, thanks so much for checking out our channel. And listen to this, we have more great content for you, like this video right here and this video right here. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel right now and tap that notification bell.